Welcome to the Behind the Board on Mixing Guitar. We're going to be getting a music mix here. So we're going to get our drums in there, our bass, our guitars, everything that makes up the music of this song, all sounding great before we move on to our vocals. We want to be able to kind of just slide the vocals in there and it to work. So that's hopefully going to be our case. Otherwise, we'll have to adjust our music mix to our vocals later. But we want to make sure that what we did is sounding fantastic before we start making adjustments to other parts of the songs now. So let's go up and just go on your track and just unmute all these guys. So it's a good practice of muting and unmuting. So you're just going to unmute everybody. And we'll see what we're working with here. Make sure you're all unmuted. Just go to the top and start dragging your way down. See, I missed one right here. Make sure you're all unmuted so you know you have no mistakes going on. We have the drums about where we want them. I'm sure something is going to be a little out of place now that we hear the guitars in the room that they're taking up. But let's start taking a listen and making some adjustments to the level. So this is just for volumes now. We're not going to be making big adjustments to the EQs or anything just yet. I'm going to take the snare down a little. Even though the snare isn't very loud, it's cutting through heavily through these parts. So I'm just going to take the snare bus down a little bit so I could get some better levels on guitars. You can see while I do these levels, I'm taking a look at my guitar bus. So that's why I like to have that guitar bus set before I do my levels here, because I could kind of see the balance between the left and the right, and that's just what they're reading. Remember that things pop out a little bit more at you depending on their frequencies and things like that. So your meters are there to help you, but you can't just completely trust them. You got to trust your ears. So keep on listening back to this section a few more times. I'm almost there myself, and if you're doing the same thing, you'll probably start making a few more adjustments to get there. You can see I'm making a big adjustment, and like I said, I call these the macro adjustments. There's something that affects everything under them. So I made a big adjustment to the drums. I wanted them a little bit lower, so instead of taking down every drum, just went over to my drum bus. I'm messing around with that a little bit now. I'm getting some levels here. I'm not talking you through it too much because at this point it really is kind of going by ear and what you're really feeling, what you're really liking about the song, what you want to bring out more, what you want to put more towards the back. Remember that you're looking for balance everywhere. You want to give them a nice listening experience. And in other cases, that might not be it. You might be mixing something that you really want to go left speaker to right speaker over and over, but when in general you want to mix for balance. So as you're mixing things, take a look at your guitar meter, see if you're getting balance there, and then trust your ears too. Make sure you're getting balance there. So I'm going to move forward into the bridge section now and see what we're working with. Very cool. You can see I'm almost blasting this guitar, bridge guitar part. And if you ran out of room, you wanted this even louder. Remember, you have clip gain right here. You could take this and make it louder right here at plus 4 dBs. It's unnecessary for now, but just to make a note of that, make sure you know how to do that. Alright, just one little thing I want to adjust here. I'm going to zoom in to the end of the bridge section. Looks to be about bar 75, 2 minutes and 12 seconds into the song. I want this to fade out a little bit before we hit. So this last hit right over here is where I'll start my fade. So bridge guitar 2 is the guitar that keeps on kind of droning on those 2 notes this over and over again, and I want that to fade out a little bit towards the end. So let's make ourselves an S curve fade, equal power, and just listen if that sounds good. See, so when we take away right before we hit, we get so much more impact. So that's just a production thing that I like to do. I like to kind of let things die out a little bit right before we slam them. Bring the ear in, draw them in, and then just crush them with a big, giant chorus like we have going on right there. I'm just going to check my outro as well. I'm going to do some manual stuff here. I'll do the same thing at the beginning, but just zoom into your outro section. Looks to be around bar 84 is where it starts. And we're going to make a cut right here. So we'll make a separation right about here. Just Command E makes your separation. And I just want to take down the clip gain of the beginning part of it because it's just a bit louder than the end part of it, and I don't want to overcompress. So let's take a listen if that sounds better. I took the clip gain down almost 4 dB. Good, that part's sounding better. Now let's make our fade right here real quick. You want to make the fades in these areas too, because you don't want it to jump from negative 4 dB to 0 dB. It'll be a little bit too much of a jump, so you want to kind of make yourself a little fade so it ramps up to it. Sounding good to me. So I want to do the same thing at the top. That's the same part from the beginning. So here we are right at the beginning of the song. I'm going to choose the same exact area. Command E, and we want to go down to about negative 4. Make our fade. Command F. And we'll do our equal power fade. Fantastic. Make sure that's working. All right, we have a pretty great music mix going on now. I would probably listen through a few more times, make a bunch more adjustments, but generally this is a good music mix, and feel free to keep on messing around, making your mix sound fantastic before you move on to getting those vocals sounding right. All right, so thanks for being with me on this one. I'll see you on the next one.